Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
Yay! Welcome, everyone. Yeah, what's happened there? I'm going to my YouTube channel because I need YouTube watch hours, right? So I have to make sure my YouTube channel is on, on my other YouTube, on my other account. So that's all good. I'm here. You're here. Welcome, everyone. If you were here, please drop us a comment. Otherwise, I don't know you're here. I haven't. So sometimes we can see the numbers of people that we have, but we know people from Facebook, people from everywhere, really. So we don't necessarily know who's here until you say something. Let me join on LinkedIn. Let me see what's. Yeah, I'm live on LinkedIn. Superb. Tony, I do see about me. I would meet my YouTube channel or my LinkedIn events. So it's all good. It's all good. I'm here. My friends are here. Now you're here. Say hello. Say where you join us from, and so that way we can welcome you and admire and celebrate your presence with us. Right? That's what I know your time is valuable. Who's on over here? I can see you over here. Yeah, I've muted you. I've muted you. I've muted you. So and I'm telling you because now when you do yours, you can mute people if there's noise in the background that you don't like. Remember in the audio rooms we used to be able to mute them and then kick them off stage. We can do the same here. Someone upsets your spirit. Somehow they just fall off stage. You're like, oh, I don't know what happened there, right? I don't know what happened. Technology. How you doing, Joni?
I'm good. I am been on hold with the State Department to try to renew my motorcycle's license because it's actually impossible to figure anything out. And so I'm going to mute myself and let you guys chat. And once I get a hold of someone, I will join in. Okay. But I'm listening.
Yeah, now if you're joining then, or if you have something to say, there's a bit that catches your attention.
I would much rather talk to you than listen on hold to the Illinois State Department of Transportation. Oh my goodness!
Well, talk to us until they come on the line. But like I said, you can mute yourself when you're ready. Just
okay. I just didn't want any background noise because it's on. Yes. So yeah, my life's been a little nutty since the puppies were born. So that was a bold idea. And I found amazing joy in breeding my dogs. And so oh my God, this is actually, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to drive over there and I'm going to sorry. Okay.
It's fine. When you're ready, I said that this.
No. I'm ready now. It's fine. I just hung up on them. That was 20 minutes of hold, and I know it would have gone on another 20 minutes. And that's the most irritating thing about dealing with any sort of State Department. Yeah. Anyways, my puppies were a bold idea, but I just went for it, and I was like, okay, we'll do it.
Well, I suppose let me set the scene, and then I would love to know where the idea came from. That's the conversation I want to have today. How do we get these bold ideas? How do we get these ideas that actually do work in the end, or maybe they don't work? Say where do our ideas come from? That's a big question I want to ask today, my friends. Because let's face it, Jeremy, great to see you. So I'm glad you're here. Took 6 times to join. I understand. Maybe it was me because I delayed the event. Michael, how are you doing? You know that I don't like you being quiet, Michael, right?
No, I had no idea.
That's a blind deer, right? No, that's what
pretty much.
That's what no idea is. This idea's conversation. It can be different. Look, I suppose let's get started formally and let's have the
Yeah,
conversation I
I'll
want to
mute
have.
myself. Yeah. I have some
Excellent.
ideas. I have some ideas about ideas.
We're here in a second, Joni. I have no
Okay.
doubt it's all right. I have no doubt whatsoever. And I love to learn from all of you, so that's why we do these events. Look, for those who don't know me, I am Eni Osung. My business is called Global.Media, and what I do is make people famous. That's an idea in itself. It's a long story to explain. But I think it's in the nature of ideas. My story started 20 years ago. In 2000, I joined the company after I left uni. Well, no, before I started doing my master's. So I joined the company called The Shelf International. I didn't have a clue what they were doing, but literally when I got there, they're like, we're an internet company. And that's my first time ever hearing of the internet. Of course, we had computers, but we had word processors. We had computers that did stuff, not so much, nowhere near what we have today. So that's before the days when the internet came in, and then the internet came in, and we had to log in with a cassette, and then with a floppy disk. If you're thinking, what the hell, what is he talking about? So this is how the internet evolved, right? But in those early days, I had a vision, I had an idea, I had a big idea, which is what this room is based. This room is based on, my friends. This room is called What If Live. What if? And I started the room again based on an idea. So LinkedIn wasn't working for me. And I thought, oh, I need to find a way to get more clients, a way to actually get seen and heard. Like many people, we do lots of internet stuff, post, comment, and more, right? Make videos, do stuff, but still nothing works. So there was a time when I thought, you know what, LinkedIn is not going to work for me. So unless I find a different way, lucky for me, events came in. Just as I was walking out the LinkedIn door, suddenly LinkedIn audio came in. And again, I had another idea. I could see the potential. So this is what ideas are to me. But the concept of the room, What If Live, I started this room with my friend Lolette Hudson. She's an entrepreneur coach. So she works with people to bring their ideas to life, their bold ideas. She does that through coaching, through retreats and things like that. And so our thinking was simply, what if? You see, humanity as humans, now we have this issue where we tend to think negatively. We tend to think, what if it goes wrong? What if tech doesn't work? What if this happens, that happens? What if I fail? We love to be doom mongers, right? So we need to think differently. This room encourages you to think the other way. What if I do succeed? What if my idea is the biggest thing since sliced bread? I mean, that sliced bread, it was quite momentous when it came in, I tell you. You hear me talking about one of the greatest ideas of all time, one of the what ifs, that came to pass. That is something called the bread knife. I'm sure everyone's got a bread knife, right? Some people like me have several bread knives. Alas, that was someone's idea. Is it a bold idea? Yes. It's a bold idea because in my world, the fact that we've all got one makes it a genius idea. The fact that we don't use it is neither here nor there, right? Can you create something that the world needs? Something that's going to change people's lives, something that people are going to use. Like I always say, if you look around you, everything in front of you, everything behind, even the chair you're sitting on, was someone's idea once, right? It was someone's idea. And they made it a reality, which is why we can enjoy these products. Now, my watch, my wallet, my lamp, my TV, my computer, my microphone, my pens, everything before, even mobile phones, everything before us was an idea at one time, right? And the people who create these things, yes, of course, they might have thought, oh, what if no one buys it? But people do, people we have bought those things. I'm saying your idea, your bold idea can also become a reality that would change the world. Why think otherwise? What if you do succeed? That's what I tend to talk about in this event. Going back to my internet story, I guess, ideas. Sometimes we say, ideas, which is the beginning of the what if conversation in reality, right? Without an idea, nothing happens. Yes, take that in. We need to have ideas to get anywhere near your bold idea. Now, the reality is that, when I was working on the internet 20 years ago, I didn't know how big this thing was going to get. I really didn't know. I had not a clue what the internet was going to be, but I had a vision. I remember because I was writing blogs, I was managing a content development website, a content development business, and so one of my visions was the internet making the world a fairer place, an equal playing field, where the person, the producer in back end Nigeria, back end, some village in Nigeria, or Uganda, or Kenya, or Ghana, or Russia, could compete with the big boys, the Amazons of this world, if only they made a great product that people actually needed, right? And so the internet, because we have connectivity to the rest of the world, the world's your marketplace. And that was the dream. It has to be said, I had this vision of the mobile phone becoming the world's greatest computer. There's a reason why I mentioned those two things, my friend. You see, my vision about the internet becoming the leveler for everyone, the one that opens doors for all of us, that never came to be. Because if you look around you today, the internet's still full of the big companies make all the money. Whereas your local gas man, your local plumber, your local electrician, your local accountant, they still struggle, right? They still struggle. Again, this is where my next idea came in. I started a business to make them famous. Because, like I said to you, big companies are still, the famous ones are still making all the money. So how could I make people famous, well known, that people know, like, and trust them? I want to buy from them. That is pretty much my journey. Since then, I've refined the conversation that I have with my prospects. I've refined how I talk to them. I've refined the idea. Again, if you go back to 2015, when I started my business, I guess I might say I was a pure marketing agency. Literally, I was doing the things marketers do: email, because I know it works, ads, website design, and social media. Those are the things that marketers do. That's what we knew worked. Until I realized that the average man I'm trying to support, I'm trying to work, I'm trying to help to get this visibility and trust online, this know, like, and trust online, can't afford any of those things. So I had to have another idea. What am I going to do? In between all this, a friend of mine, Felix, said to me, "Any, you're never going to make money doing marketing. No one ever has." I was like, Felix, you've ruined my dream. Damn. So I had to have a different idea. That's where this "I Make You Famous" concept came from. And then I've refined that concept. And so going from a marketing agency to where I am now, someone who publishes books. Because now my idea is to create not just a presence for my clients. I want to create, what to call it. The way I describe it, I want my clients to be visible, number one. I want my clients to be credible. Number two, I want people to know, like, and trust them. I want to do business with them. But number three, the thing that makes me different to everyone else, my bold idea, my friends, is I want to give people long-term brand authority in their niche. I want them to be number one, the one that people turn to naturally, right? But I also want my solutions, my marketing strategies, my marketing service to give people long-term fame, long-term benefits, long-term results. The simple way we do that is that we help people to build a community. Now, that's why I do events. Like, these events will help you build a community around you of people who are interested in you, they like you, they know you. When the time comes, they'll come and buy from you. My friends, these are all ideas that we've had, right? These are all ideas I've had. So now, my question today, given that everything starts from ideas, is where do ideas come from? Now, it's simple to think, you know what? Much like Newton. Now, you remember Newton, the way we're told, right? He went out, sat under a tree, apple fell on his, fell down to the ground, and he's like, "Oh, eureka! There is gravity." No, that's not how it works. That's just not how. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Okay, if you're surprised, sorry about it. If I disappoint you, sorry about that. You see, Mr. Newton did experiments. He had a hunch. He had a feeling. He had a belief. And understanding that there must be something about why things fall to the ground rather than fall to the sky. Hence, there must be gravity, a gravitational force, a force that pulls things down to the ground, right? And then he did experiments. All that sat under a tree, apple fell down to the ground, rubbish. It's not how it happens. Our ideas aren't going to suddenly pop into your lap. They're just not. You're gonna have to, you have to work hard to get the idea in the first place. But it's a process we go through. It's a process we go through to get the ideas. So I got my friends here on stage. You got Obehi, a true legend, and his, storytelling legend, and of course events and I got Michael using it. You're too noisy. You're far too noisy. All that noise in my background. And now I've got the amazing Joni. Joni is a genius, of course, an author as well. So, they're all, like you, my friends. We've all had ideas, right? So let's talk about where these ideas come from, how we can nurture them, and how you can find your bold idea, because that idea is within you. I assure you, everyone's got a bold idea. Everyone, I guess before I pass the mic to over here, I'll say this: I truly believe that we are uniquely gifted. All of us, we have a gift from the gods. Literally, we have something that we're here to bring to the world. It's whether you believe it and whether you live it. That's down to you. That's not down to anyone else, right? But I truly believe we have that gift within us that we can truly bring to the world. That's your bold idea. If you don't bring it to the world, what's you gonna say on your deathbed? Oh, I wish I had done this or that. No, get on with it. Get the idea, develop it, and do it. Make it happen. That's me. That's why I do what I do. That's my thing, right? Achieving your potential and growth. That's me. That's what makes it. That's why I wake up every morning. Anyway, let me stop talking. I want to hear from my friends here. Of course, if you want to join us on stage, my friends, the link is on the events page in the comments section. If you want me to send you the link direct to your DM, then just put in the comments here. Any link, please. If you send it to my DM on LinkedIn, I won't say it because I'm not looking there. I'm looking here. So do engage with us. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Of course, if you've got ideas or questions or experiences, put them in the comments. Let's you can talk through the comments. Better still, come in the studio and talk to us directly. Enough from me, Mr. Obehi. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
How
so
are you
much,
doing?
Annie. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right. Thank you so much, brother. You are really an inspiration, and I can really see. It's been for some time now that I've seen this kind of inspiration coming around now, just free of charge. And I really want to thank you so much, Annie, for the work that you are doing. Okay, we just finished a room not too long ago, and that what you shared there was powerful, and you are continuing here, and this is really beautiful. I like when you say if. What if? And I think that is really a powerful word, because what I think that is doing for us is that it's provoking us to use our head, because we believe that everything is already taken care of, everything is already here. Yes, everything is already here, really. But life, existence, everything around us is about transformation. How we transform it is by, first of all, putting, I don't want to call it a doubt for the sake of somebody who might have a negative connotation to that, but having a curiosity, a kind of a curiosity that prompts you to sort of, okay, this is what it is now. But what if? What if it can be different? You see, that everything we see around us is because somebody refused to believe in the ordinary, refused to believe the equation that I've already been given, refused to believe that this is all. They say, what if? What if it can be different? This is starting from how we were able to develop the first movie automobile, where we can stand in a machine or sit in a machine and the machine will be rolling. We are on it. Because by then, for several thousands of years, we have been used to using horses. If you want to move from a place to another place, you want to be faster, you sit on top of a horse. The horse will move you to the destination. In fact, that is why when the cars are developed, we still use the horsepower to measure the strength of the engine. Somebody is saying, what if? I know I can move from one place to the other, but what if we did that? Somebody is not comfortable with it, is not content with that, because there is still more that is possible. He said, let us fly in the air. Because the human being cannot fly in the air. How do you fly in the air? You see, this is the power of imagination. No wonder Albert Einstein said that imagination is more powerful than knowledge. In that, if you can imagine it, it doesn't matter whether it is you have ever been or you have never been before. It doesn't matter whether somebody have ever thought it before. But if you are crazy enough to believe that what you are having in your head can be possible, it can be possible. Which is to say that we can live in a more beautiful world that we have today. We can live in a more somebody was saying few years ago, no, actually I was listening to a video a few days ago, an astrophysicist was saying there is no law that said that human being cannot live forever. Which is to say, there is nothing that we cannot do, but we must start with if. We have this, we can do this. I know we can talk like this, but what if we try something differently? What if we tempt the unknown? What if we could try it like this? That is the power of story. You see, one day I was talking to a friend of mine. We were working on what we are still continuously working on now, which is tourism, his cultural and historic tourism that we are doing currently, attracting African diaspora to Africa. Then he was telling me, when I want to do this, I want to concentrate on reality, on what is real. And I say, okay, that is interesting. Let's talk about reality. What is even real? And I say, now you are sitting in front of a valley, in front of you, there is a very dirty valley. You know how valley is? Something that are infested with insects. You can't enter that kind of valley because they will stick you on the face. I said, now imagine that valley and imagine you standing with another friend, and you tell this friend, in this valley, I am going to seed a 10-story building. I said, at that moment that you are talking about it, is it real or is not real? I said, okay, let's fast forward time. 10 years later, you were crazy enough to believe that you can do that. You have the resources, you clear the valley, because we can clear valley. That is what human beings do. We can fill up the valley. We can boil a hole in the mountain. Have you ever visited places like Switzerland? You see, they have very undulating type of land, like this, full of mountains. But you know what they did? They will boil a hole into the mountain and make a road to cross inside it. That is the power of the human mind. Then I was telling my friend, if you are crazy enough to believe in that you can do that, and in 10 years later you actually do it because it is possible, at that moment, is it real or not real? What I'm essentially saying is that if we can believe it, and if we can push it, push the wall, push it, we will remove it from where it is, then it becomes real for us. So if is a powerful word, because we are challenging the status quo. We are challenging that which we used to know. That is how we can fly. That is how we design the airplane. Because if you want to base it on religious belief, for example, or the concept that we already know, somebody could say, well, we cannot fly, because if we could fly, God will already put wings on our, so that we can have wings like the birds. If you don't have wings like the bird, how do you think you can fly? Now, I can imagine the people that were designing the first aeroplane telling their friends, they're asking them, hey, what are you doing? And they're telling them, we are designing an aeroplane that can take you in the air that you'll be flying. I can even hear the laughter that they're laughing at them. You must be crazy. How dare you be so stupid? Do what is normal. Do what is possible. Have you ever seen anything fly? How do you even look like fly? Do you have wings? What if you fall down from there? But these guys are so crazy in believing that they can do it, and they did it. What if? What if we could do it differently? So, Eddie, this is really a powerful question. And it's calling us to use our brain to challenge what we already know. And then what we don't know should become what we know. And then we move to the next frontier. My name is Obehi Ewafo. I am in Italy. I do storytelling. I help people, particularly in the business environment, to own their story and to use it to connect to their right audience. I'm really passionate about that. I thank you, Enin, for this time. It's a pleasure here, brother.
Thank you. I truly appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. You know, everything you say brings joy to my heart. It can be quite emotional. You know, I do get emotional about certain things. Don't ask me why. I just do something. And the what if question, the way you describe it over here, you know, it is, you know, the potential of humanity is amazing, right? For all the reasons you say, you know, that question, what if? Sandra says, no, welcome, Sandra. Welcome to both of Sandra. Do join us for Sandra's book launch on Thursday. So we're just getting ready now. So please join us and come and buy the book, right? Now, so Sandra says, what if? It's a question that stops us most times, but also sometimes inspires us to move forward by the thought of what if we succeed. Exactly that, Sandra. Now, what if we do succeed and change the world, change our world, change our lives, change our generational trauma turned into, yeah, look at the Rothschilds, generational glories, what legacy is what it comes down to, right? Look at the Rothschilds. Now, one of them decided, okay, let's make some money, and then let's make all our future generations never have to worry about money ever again. You know, that's a what if idea, and it is that someone's got to think it. You know, that person is you, that person is me, right? Now, so let me welcome some more friends, and I'll come to you, Michael, to hear your thoughts on the topic. So over here, to give you a heads up, my friend, I'll come back to you and ask, where do ideas come from for you? Now, so let's introduce our other speakers, and then I'll come back to you on that one. Professor Roxana, welcome. Your book is here. Oh, should I open it now? Because you're here, right? No, I want to do a video separately. So I got it from Amazon in the post, so I will open it. Lisa the Genius. Lisa the Genius doesn't quite sound right. Dr. Lisa sounds better to me, which is our menopause genius. Thank you for joining us always. If Lisa's here, then I'm happy. My life is better, infinitely, right? If she's not here, I do get concerned. She hates me. Where's she gone? Cyrus. Oh man, this is a man of genius. Cyrus is my best friend. He has been for the last couple of days. See, was it yesterday or was it Sunday? No, a couple of days now, Sunday. And I had a breakdown, literally. I lost my video maker, and I thought, I need to make videos using tools. And Cyrus is the one I called. I'm like, Cyrus, help me! I need your help. And he gave me his time, showed me how to use ChatGPT with video making software. And now I'm making videos. Imagine my son. Let me try another way. AI is a tool that we can use, right? In terms of how to generate ideas, AI is amazing. Sarah showed me this. But it's not. Is it AI the amazing thing, or are we the amazing thing by having an idea? Because we must prompt AI. We must tell AI what to want, and then it will create it, right? Whose idea is it? Is it AI's idea, or is it our idea? But Cyrus, you've made an old man suddenly actually use ChatGPT and actually get to love it for what it is. It's not perfect, it's not human, but it does create stuff that I can't create otherwise. It's an amazing thing. I'll tell more of the story in good time, right? So who else is here? Lisa Beckles, welcome. So glad you're here. Thank you, everyone. I'm never bothered by numbers at my event. I'm more bothered by my speakers on stage, because then there's a recording, right? Well, if you want to join us, Dr. Roxana, for example, please. Oh, you say please open it. Must I really? If I do it once, Dr. Roxana, I can't do it again. I'd rather give you the whole 2 minutes, 3 minutes of my time tomorrow or later tonight and say, "Hey, Dr. Roxana's book, look at it," and wave it around. She's saying open it anyway, right? Who knows? Okay, I'll think about opening it, Dr. Roxana. It's fine. Humans are amazing, says Cyrus. Lisa Becker. Yes, okay. Cyrus has been my amazing. What to call it? Moderator. That's the word for it, right? Anyway, let me stop talking. Jeremy says, I agree on people's untapped potential being released for the betterment of all those who share this world. That's a gift we have, right, Jeremy? That's a gift we have. What if, and what are we going to do? What's the idea? What's our broad idea? You must name it first before you can actually begin to work on it, right? We must actually know. We must come up with something. Find out what that thing is. How do we find out what that thing is? How do we know what our broad idea is? Michael, what's your take, my friends? Michael, talk to us.
Hi. I was lost I'm sorry. I was kind of a little bit low over there. Can you hear me now? Am I better?
Yeah. No, I hear you
Okay.
perfectly.
All right, excellent. Now, hello, Joe. Hello. Who's this? Who's the other person? Is it Miles, or is it which podcast is that? Oh, my eyes. Oh my gosh. Is this Cyrus? I don't know. I'm not so sure. The fellow with the wine and the I don't know what that is. Is it a Muppet? Yeah. Anyway, I think it may have been Cyrus. I think he does wine, and he does have a podcast. So hi, Cyrus. How you doing out there? Uh, now I'm pretty sure you guys. Maybe some people have not heard me say this, but I've said it several times before, and I've also written it down. But I totally believe in this concept, and it goes like this. Um, let's go beyond the heavens. In other words, I invite you and anybody else that's out there to go beyond the heavens with me or by yourself, however, but all of humanity to go beyond the heavens. In other words, I very much believe that heaven is not a limit. There's no such thing as a limit in our universe. In other words, take off your limits and soar, climb, be better than what you are, be what you want to be, dream, go beyond and go beyond your dream because there are no such limits. You'll be forever just seeking the beyond. What can I go? What can I do beyond this? What can I do beyond that? That is the fate of all human beings to go beyond, not to be limited. We always put limits on ourselves and limits on our children, limits on this and limits on that. The reality is that no, you shouldn't. You shouldn't need to do that. Take off the limits and go beyond. That's what I think, Annie. You've got a good show here. I'm pretty sure a lot more people should be able to join in and also converse with you and let you know what they think as well, aside from putting it in the chat.
I mean,
I leave it up to you, Joe, to blow things up.
you're here, so that's a good thing, right? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sandra, this fear of failure is such a thing for people. But it's just fear. Let's call it fear. It's not just fear. No, it's not just fear of failure. To be honest, I think the fear of success is as scary as the fear of failure for most people. Right? It's a weird thing. A lot of people are scared to succeed. When you say "What if you do make it?" they think, "Oh no, my life will change." Some are
that's a
petrified.
limiting factor.
Yes,
That's
of course
a limiting
it is.
factor.
Some are petrified of being known, of being well known. Of being big, as you say, Michael, being bigger than the universe. They're scared to be the next Bill Gates, the next Zuckerberg, create something that the world really is using. It's a weird thing, but we must change it. And at least, us here, I'm sure, we speak true. So, that thing about how like-minded people pull together, are drawn together. I truly believe that. So I'm hoping that we are we're not the chosen ones, but we are amongst those who are trying to reach our potential and go beyond. Right? It's an amazing thing. Let me welcome Mr. Abbas. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Michelle Ramos, Michelle. I swear, Michelle, you don't answer my calls. You don't answer my DMs. Michelle, why? Why, Michelle? Why? Anyway, I told you I found a way to get ChatGPT to work for me now. So, Michelle, call me. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. But the what if question is very multifaceted. Of course it is. But don't focus on that today. Focus on where do our ideas come from. Let's address the issue that we actually want to address. Right. Let's talk about the issue that we actually want to. I want people to leave here with strategies. Or let's learn from your strategies. That's what I want to do today, for sure. Joni, how are you doing, Joni?
Hi. I might say one quick thing. I'll say more later, but I might have a delivery. Anyways, so my dad was visiting this weekend, and it was just really nice to have him. And we had a couple good conversations. And one being, he was just asking me, like what's all this podcasting stuff like that you like to do, and what's going on with that? And I'm like, like I thought to myself, I'm like, what if I just go up on stage and say something, because it'll just give me more confidence in life. And I told him, I was like, it's just amazing how interconnected people's feelings can be around the world, or similar rather. And you know, a lot of people in more rural communities, and you know, we're talking from Africa to United States to Great Britain, and it's amazing. It's a really a wonderful thing. And so, what if you reach out and connect to someone and you learn something that's kind of makes you feel genuine as a human being? And I think more people can get on board with that as you know, technology kind of revolutionizes, and it's exactly kind of what you're talking about with like the internet and stuff. And then also we also had a conversation about, because we watched a movie on Netflix about scammers, and they were scamming like old people out of money, and he didn't really understand why there's like a million phones on a wall. And I was like, no, Dad, I was like, so they can like easily connect to like a million people and like have all auto rotate going. And he was like, so crazy, because now they're going to start impersonating your voice, and like they're going to be like, hi, this is Joni. I'm in jail. Can you let me some money? And like, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, Dad, wait till they start impersonating your face on FaceTime. Like, it's going to look like you. And I was like, it's just going to get more interesting, and a little like for, I guess, I don't know, 40 plus, like that's a big change. And you know, it's not going to stop, but someone did get together and a plan for some AI, and someone else built off it, and someone else built off it, and someone else built off it. And so it was one person who just started some little spark of an idea, but a really big idea involves a lot of other people and a lot of we're not, I'm going to say we have a community. I'm not necessarily going to say scientists, like they really are quite smart about that stuff. But, you know, it is interesting how everything kind of sparks off each other, and how, you know, a couple years ago, I went on and I said, what if I just like say hello? And now I have some of the greatest friends and new understanding of different cultures around the world. And so that's a great what if that I took. And I can talk more later, but let me pause for a second, and you guys continue on for 1 second. Take some questions.
Awesome, Joni. Thank you so much. Thank you. It's
Hey,
that's what
Kenny,
go on, please. Feel free, Michael.
I wanted to address your question real quick regarding where ideas come from. Um, every morning that you wake up, you get up, you think to yourself, how can I go beyond my limits? How can I go beyond this? How can I go beyond that? Everything that you do has, at that particular moment, a limit. But your ability to go beyond it comes from your mental thought. How can I go beyond my limits? And that's where great ideas come from, and smart ideas come from, is by the insistence to go beyond your limit and doing it every day. We are unlimited as human beings. So do what you're supposed to do. Have that great idea and go beyond and apply it and go beyond your limits. That's pretty much it right there. I do not know how you feel about that.
No, look, brilliant. Look, we've covered two key ones. My friends, I see more people here, so do say hello so we can welcome you properly, right? Now, Michael, I think you and Joni mentioned two big strategies. Now, Joni mentioned collaboration. You see, Joni, of course you're right. Some ideas, they exist in different people, right? We think our idea is going to come to us wrong, number one. But I'll explain why I say wrong in that sense. It's not like Michael's saying, we have to work at it every day. I have to ask that question. What can I do? How can I make a difference? How can I be more? How can I give them more? That's what your idea is, right? It has to be a solution. And sometimes look at ideas as if, I've got one part of it. Joni's got another part. Michael's got another part. That's the power of collaboration that Joni mentioned earlier. It's by bringing us all together somehow and finding a way for us to work together to bring our ideas where the sum of the parts is great. It's what we create is greater than the sum of the parts, basically. What we create with our 3 bits of the idea is bigger than those 3 bits put together. That's a bold idea, right?
You know what, Annie?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what you did with Cyrus.
Obi Trice. And Obi Trice, he is like so darling and has the best smile, and is like he's so African, just like talks about ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like so it's so happy. And I tell him he can fly in his dreams if he thinks about it enough. Like I love flying in my dreams, but I don't think like actual humans are gonna fly without some contraption. But I would love that if he could like figure that out. But yeah. But when I saw his name, I'm like, Obi Trice.
That's why the Wright brothers gave us a contraption, the aeroplane and the flying things, right?
Yeah,
it's the next level that I think is amazing. Just timely comment as well, Sandra. Sandra says, I love the quote that says, "What if I fall? Oh, darling, what if you fly?" You see, this is one of the reasons I'm not keen to live forever, live more than longer than I have to, longer than 70, really. 100 I'll take just about. Is simply this thing, right? I think I can see us all flying around in our cars rather than driving cars, Joni. I really can.
Oh,
They exist.
I don't think that that's not a possibility. I think that we're not going to like sprout feathers that are going to get like stuck in our backs, and like we're just not aerodynamic like that.
Yeah,
but
Joni,
I
do you
thought
understand that
his spirit was very dynamic, and it was that's what I just love about like the African culture. They're just like
go on, Michael, you were saying,
Joni, you know that you can fly, really. You can get out of your body and literally fly.
Yeah.
And there is such a thing. People
like
actually
heaven
do
or
that.
something.
No, quite literally. You
like
can
levitating?
go from one.
What are we talking
can
about?
levitate. Yeah, get out of your body, levitate, and go into another part of the world.
That's awesome.
You can even go to Earth.
I mean, I wish I knew the skill. Can we will have that conversation. I don't believe in that, but I believe in meditation. So
yes.
That's a great.
I don't believe in limits, and I believe that is possible.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you believe that. I think that's I wish I had that sort of foresight. Mine more comes from talking to a bunch of people. Someone has like a 3D printer. They're coming up with insane ideas, and I'm like, yo, with these tariff situations, these little piping parts at the piping store that all the plumbers go to are going to be 3 times as expensive. So if you want to go to make your crazy idea, go for it. Or you can make these little piping parts and make some money.
Yeah.
So that's like I'm not at. I am creative, but it comes from certainly collaboration, and also like I'm like a little. I don't know. Maybe I have limits. I am not like you, and I wish I was more.
You are like us, Joni. You really are. You won't be here otherwise. I said no. Birds of a feather flock together.
Joni, that's you putting limits onto yourself.
Yeah.
You just need to get limits
brother,
out of yourself.
If I put limits on myself, I would have just been gone a long time ago. I got through
well, you got to figure out how to unlimit yourself then. That is all you need to do.
Maybe we should have a discussion about that.
You should. You really should. Because especially as Sandra says, look,
I respect that.
we are copying, we are going through the list of how we generate ideas. Journey's mentioned collaboration and bringing other people's ideas into yours. I'll show you why in a second why that works. Michael's talked about essentially we can visualize and create and create our own ideas. We can come up with ideas in our heads, but it does require a thing that people don't want to do today, that thing called deep thinking. Some lament the fact that we can't think strategically. Of course we can. The issue that is that we live in a very noisy world, and the internet is here, social media is here, right? So we end up not giving ourselves a space to think deeply. With that, now then, Joni, you just mentioned meditation. Now that's another strategy, my friends. We can visualize. We can literally get. Do I want to call it downloads? We can bring those ideas forward from our mind especially when we quiet our mind, right? When we quieten the mind, we can see things that that are great ideas. Some things that we can see things that could work. Let me use this chance to explain this thing.
You can bring forth those ideas, Annie.
Yeah,
Upload.
look. There's a good, but Michael, I think there's a fundamental question. Now, people expect ideas to be like a loaf of bread, well-formed, baked, ready to eat. No, not always. Not always. Really not, right? Some ideas really are half-baked, right? So we don't have the full picture. So many ideas they're hunches, they're hypotheses, they're ideas. An idea is something that you think about you haven't worked or you haven't acted on yet. I'm saying give yourself that space. Some of your bold idea, they are what ifs. Really, think about it. So when Zuckerberg was starting Facebook and his friends were starting Facebook, they didn't know it was going to be what it is today, right? And if you think about it, the Facebook we have today is very different to the one that they started, the one that they envisioned. Now think of what's his name, the Amazon guy, Bezos, when he was in his garage in the 70s, selling books and CDs. He had a vision of what could be. He had a vision of what could be, what this Amazon thing, this greatest online store in the world could be. But don't forget, this was 30 years before the internet came in. So he couldn't have seen how Amazon is today. He just couldn't have seen it. It was impossible. I'm saying your bold idea is the same. It's an idea that will be refined over time, that will be added to, dissected, cleaned up, changed to become what is going to be at the end, right? Sandra's given us another very important way to generate ideas. So every opportunity you create for yourself and the people around you, in other words, we get ideas by doing. Sandra says every thought idea you share with the world, we get ideas from thinking. Every conversation you have is a seed planted. We get ideas from collaborating, from sharing. If you think, if you share, those are 3 important strategies to get ideas. Sandra said, a seed planted in your head, in other people's heads, no one's head, everywhere, nowhere. Oh, I love that, Sandra. It is that.
Annie, oops, sorry.
Go for it, please. Feel free.
Oh, no, I was going to say, if you have a really amazing idea, just, you keep it on your inner circle, because you got people who can maybe steal that from you before you get that patented. But I think if you have the ability to just kind of think out loud, say things like when it comes to you, if you're watching a movie with a friend or on a walk or something, or wake up from a dream and write stuff down. Not everything's going to work, right? Not everything.
Yeah.
And You just
It's
kind of have to like let it out. Not be, the fear of failure, which is what you guys were talking about. But if you like fall down, like just get back up on the horse. And
yeah. No,
yeah,
for sure.
I do think having a creative group around you, like a community that shares ideas and the same values you do, is a really great thing.
It
So
really is. It really is. And I was thinking earlier when I was getting ready for this. I'm thinking if three of us have an idea that we're collaborating on, whose idea is it? I'll leave that to hang. I'm not going to answer the question myself.
everyone can contribute to an idea. Like maybe someone starts it.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Look, collaboration is a great way to get, because, like I said, people have different parts of the solution. If we
Yeah.
can work together, we can create a greater solution bigger than all our different parts.
Like if
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I have this great idea to fix cracks in the ceiling with this special type of epoxy, but I have no idea how to create epoxy or anything like that.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, you know what? I think actually it should come like in like this tube that like has like a brush on it, and then it's like seamless and whatever it may be. That was just spitting.
Yeah,
But,
no, that's true.
everyone can contribute to, something good. That's how all good games, like board games, were made. Like one person had an idea and then they all got together and made Monopoly.
Yeah, I mean, look, many good ideas, many great ideas, many great bold solutions came from collaborations. Not all of them. That gives me space to talk about some of the other ways. Now, Coach Ashif says, if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. So it's about being brave. It's about being risking, thinking. Like I said earlier, it's about thinking through and thinking, what?
Oh my gosh, I love that quote.
What could be? What if? Could that work? This all ties in with what Sandra was saying earlier and what you're saying, Joni. If we don't ask
Actually, yeah,
ourselves,
that's so good. I love that. I'm just like gonna screenshot that right now.
very quick. I mean,
And I think like you were one of the kids like in university who like raised their hand and was like, well, I'm not sure about that idea, but
No,
let's
and he never did
create a
that. And he
discussion.
gave his ideas to other kids, and the other kids are the ones
speak.
who raised their hands.
I didn't speak. I just sat there quietly looking at it thinking, I don't like that. That sounds great. But literally, so you got your screenshot, Joni, right? And I love people
Yes,
who think
I did. You can move on, but it is great. You gotta. There's too many people just who are like kind of like ho hum like, and they can also like make great ideas work too. I'm not saying anyone is not valuable, but I do like the idea of kind of living out your dreams, especially as you get older and have lived through enough life being like afraid of not getting older and not sharing things.
your time is now. But this collaboration thing, Coach Ashif. I see what you're saying. It says masterminds can take us to new heights. A mastermind is a sharing of, it's a meeting of experts or subject matter experts, same field, different fields, who then share the experience of co-creating. They create, so that is one thing, or there's the separate things, but they inspire each other. They educate each other and support each other. That's what mastermind really is. So I love the mastermind principles. That if you know what they are, I've worked with them. It is calling the gods to help us to be better together, to be greater together. Check out the mastermind principles. Better still, talk to Coach Ashif. He's a mindset genius. So do talk to him. I'm sure he'll explain exactly what it is. Now we should say Sandra. Now let me welcome the amazing Crystal. Crystal Phoenix, Crystal Bear here. I'm glad you're here, author, speaker, event host, and just an all-round genius. So glad you're here, Crystal. Thank you so much. So as Joni, as no, that as Sandra says, Joni, you said through meditation that you can do it. Yeah, it's true. No limits. So they say prayer is you talking to God. Meditation is God talking to you.
Yeah. I
Right.
think and it's you talking to yourself.
Yes, your subconscious, your deep ideas, your deep.
It's just a part of you that you don't access very much, and you're busy with taking care of your family, your job, your dinner, whatever, and it allows you to, kind of be like, all right, what really does bring me joy? What do I have to offer to myself to make my life better? And that is also a good place to get ideas and the strength to get those ideas out there.
I,
So that
I I agree entirely. Look,
cool.
when I meditate, I ask all sorts of questions. I think all sorts of crazy things, right? My question is normally, what more can I do to help my friends and my clients better? What more can I do to do better at what I do? Now, sometimes which is again another source of ideas, right? We all want to come up with a new idea. We don't need to have the time. Now, most of the greatest ideas in humanity is about improving on what already exists. Over here mentioned it earlier, where there was horses to get people around. The horse was our mode of transport. And if you'd ask people, how do we improve on the horse? They would have said to you, we need faster horses, fitter horses, younger horses. Hell, let's band the horses together to create a chariot type thing.
I
More
really wish I want to go back. I want to go
correct.
back to that. I want to go
They,
back. I love horses. I love
and
them so much.
Henry Ford and Mr. Mercedes and Mr. Daimler said, no, let's never have a horse that needs feeding, that's gonna die, that's gonna poo everywhere. Let's make an engine with more horses than horses you can ever have. That was the answer. Create a car, a vehicle, a motor car, an engine. Now that's how you transform the world, right? It's improving on an idea that's there, but it's not working as well as it could. And all ideas are improvable. That's the reality of our world. You can find something that you can improve to make it work better for the people who use it. That's one source of ideas that we can't ignore. Michelle.
Really, oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, so Michelle says that we would be us if we didn't have our own unique contributions. Indeed, that's why we have the word me, I. Truly,
That's
Michelle, I hear what you say. Go on, Johnny. What are you thinking?
Well, no, I was thinking about it, like a comment that someone had made previously, like in a different thing, that uh, Henry Ford had, had that Model T black sedan, and it was just streamlined, and they just made black cars, and that was really interesting to me, but like he actually started out making a lot of different color cars, which I later found out and researched. And they found out, like, through other people's ideas, that actually black was the cheapest color, and if they just made one color car, they could really brand themselves, and they stood out above other competitors. And so Ford got to the top with the lowest budget. And so that means people who were, in the automotive field really respected this, like, kind of monumental idea, which obviously changed over the decades, but it's now like just like the classic American car from, the 1920s. I don't know. I'm not like a huge car girl, but I think it's like it just shows that, like, okay, Henry Ford wanted to make cars. He was trying to do it all splashy, and then his guys came to him. They're like, all right, let's lower the budget. It's wartime, and we're just going to do one, and then marketing's like streamline it, like just like this one model, and then they made it work all together with like the engineers and all of the automotive guys. So it just reminded me of that, and the fact that it's interesting how an idea can really take off, and other people, eh, you don't have to always be like, oh, it's my idea. That's not like that's not how the number 2 pencil was made. It wasn't just one person's idea. There's people chop down trees and like mind lead and like erasers, like
So I'm glad you
I know
mentioned.
I'm going off on a way tangent. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
so, you mentioned Ford. I mean, the people don't know that Ford made many cars with many letters. They made all sorts. Literally, they had Model U. They had Model A, Model B, Model C, Model F. It goes on, right? And the
It
Model
does.
T.
But
Yeah.
it was interesting because like he went from colored cars, and then someone was like, no, black is going to be our streamlined thing, and that's going to save us money during wartime, and that's all. And
Okay.
so it's just interesting to me because when you think back on like a Model T, you think of like the original American car.
Yeah,
So
but see, there's a point here, Joni, right? There was a Model.
I'm not a car girl.
There was a Model N, there was a Model S, right? And the one that before we got to Model T, the Model T was called the Edsel, Edsel, named after his granddad, or his granddad, then his son. And literally this car, because by sticking to these rigid parameters, Joni, it must be black, it must be this, it must be that. He almost crashed the company. The company nearly went bust because the car was a failure, disaster. This is my point of saying to you, many ideas get nowhere. Many ideas are they bad ideas? Maybe not, but they're not right for the time. It's about how, I think we have to learn that some ideas take years. And I see Dr. Leslie's here. No, Dr. Leslie says for the future to change his style, or don't ever want him to. Exactly. He nearly crashed the company. He nearly lost everything. But literally, he was saved because in the end he listened.
And now, if he was only my great grandfather,
the Model T was born. Dr. Leslie, as I mentioned you especially because your book took 30 years to write. That 30 years of ruminating in your head for you actually wrote your book. The possibilities of Irada. Like that. I say that because, like many ideas, right? It takes time to cook in our brains, in our heads. But in that time, we're thinking, we're refining. We don't just get an idea and run with it and then create genius. We don't. We have to refine it. Some take, a day to implement. Some take a year. Some take 10 years. You see, where you have to keep the idea alive in your head. You have to keep thinking about it. Maybe better still, we need to get into the habit of writing our ideas down. If you have an idea, write it down. Write it down. Write it. Have an ideas book. Put it down on paper, right? And so now, when you put it on paper, don't leave it there.
Annie, I have an idea for you right now. So all of you,
have you written it down? Go. What's your idea, Joni?
All of your baby teas that you have all piling up, just they're too small for you. We cut them up. We make a big Annie blanket and auction it off because you have so many fans out there. And so, and then it will give another life to the baby teas.
I wish. You're far too kind with your words. You're far too kind. I got many. T-shirts.
I think it could go for $200. I think someone will pay $200.
Okay. Now, after I spend that, I'll be in trouble, right? Madam Tolu, I'm so glad you're here. We've got Marriage Series live. Well, that's on YouTube on Saturday. So do join us. I'm sure I'm going to invite all of you. do join us. And I thank you so much for being here today. My friends, look, ideas come from many places. Joni, let me show you a video quick. That might help.
I'm gonna.
And then we can work to. It's only a couple of minutes long. Then we can work towards making our main points. Is there any more things I haven't said? Yeah.
Did Cyrus help you with this?
With this? No.
Oh no, because I thought you said he did some video stuff. Okay.
That's what my client social media post. This is purely about where ideas come from. But do listen carefully, my friends.
Okay.
Watch and enjoy. Here it goes.
See it, and you hear it, and you know it.
How does it come?
It comes like on a TV in your mind.
There's a line I've always loved of Leonard Cohen. He said, if I knew where the good songs came from, I would go there more often.
Absolutely. People, we don't do anything without an idea. So they're beautiful gifts. And I always say, you desiring an idea is like a bait on a hook.
Yeah.
It can pull them in. And if you catch an idea that you love, that's a beautiful, beautiful day. And you write that idea down so you won't forget it. And that idea that you caught might just be a fragment of the whole, whatever it is you're working on. But now you have even more bait. Thinking about that small fragment, that little fish, will bring in more. And they'll come in and they'll hook on. And more come in, and pretty soon you might have a script, or a chair, or a painting, or an idea for a painting.
But they come as in small...
More often than not, small fragments. I like to think of it as in the other room, the puzzle is all together, but they keep flipping in just one piece at a time.
In the other room...
Over there.
in a sense, David, there's always another room somewhere.
That's a beautiful thing to think about.
Let's think about it a bit.
No, you think about it.
I could have shown you many videos today, but that one made me laugh, so I'll show you that for today. Now, but there's many points there, right? There's many points there, to realizing that ideas come in.
It's kind of like a blockchain.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at it. But then blockchain is so it's so broken.
It's so confusing. It's like way over my head.
Yeah, no, it's so broken. It doesn't work. That's the problem. It doesn't work. It's the idea has been thought about and put out there to the world, but then the problem it solves, I don't think has been clarified. I don't think because the reason I bitch about blockchain is simply because we can track where our money has gone. I get that. And our money is free from the banks and free from the government and wherever. I suppose someone controls the blockchain, my friends. So stop lying to us. Who's that person? No one's telling us who that person.
There's a chain of command there.
Yeah,
that's not just you.
Right, and there's people in this chain. And I've been robbed on the blockchain several £1,000. That's why I'm like, I'm not doing crypto ever again. I can see where my money's gone.
I'm not either. It's like a few cents. I made $10 from 16 cents.
I've made thousands and lost it all very quick overnight, just like that.
Me too. I don't need to get into that, but I do need. Anyways, but Annie, can I just say one thing for all the ladies out there? Is it not annoying how men make analogies constantly to fish and sports? It's just men make those two analogies, and you're like,
what else is there in the world, Joni? What else is there in the world?
Sneakers, that could be another thing.
Yeah,
fish, sports, and sneakers.
Dr. Leslie, let's talk. I see what you're saying. So 23 years, and then someone did their very best to kill the radar, but they failed. And so this happens to your idea, right? I think it takes enormous courage, energy, resilience to keep your idea alive. It really does. Your idea was going to hit the buffers many times. You have to. When I say how do you refine it? Now, hopefully, at each stage, you find a way to make it better than it was before. Yeah, and then, but even after your idea's gone live, you can still refine it, right? You can still improve on your idea to make it now. Because as Dr. Leslie says, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. It's not nice to fool people, full stop, right? When you mention blockchain journey, if your idea is not a real solution, a better solution than the world has already, why should anyone listen?
I'm sure someone has definitely profited off that idea. So, I mean, I think we know.
What's that saying, Joni? You fool me once, you're bad. Essentially,
shame on you.
Yeah, shame on you.
Shame on me.
Shame on me, right?
Only thrice.
I tell you,
I
just have lost my mind, right? Really, I'm saying, right. Saying if you create an idea that's a mirage, an illusion, people will see through it eventually. You might make some money quickly. You might, like scammers do. You mentioned scammers.
No making money quickly.
So they might do.
We've talked about this a lot.
If you want it to be sustainable, you have to create a real solution. Sandra, yes. That's what you're saying.
Someone mentioned the seed. The seed, you put the seed in, and then it grows little roots, and then little teeny buds come up, and then you know what? I planted this climbing clematis, and I love them, and climbing hydrangea. I have climbing clematis too, but it was so small because it's what I could afford. And now to the first year, it's been 4 years, and it's like fully successful, and it's growing up the side of my house, and it's blooming, and I'm like, so, that was a good analogy, whoever made that.
Yeah.
Maybe Sandra.
No, for sure. It's a great way to visualize an idea, blooming, growing, say from the seed, and then becoming this beautiful thing that it can be. Just think that's a great way to look at it. That's an analogy that's not fish or sport. But Sandra, I haven't seen Dr. Roxana's comment. I don't know whether it's on my LinkedIn, but it's not on here on StreamYard. So I'm glad you shared it. So lovely comment. Absolutely. Divergent thinking differently, thinking outside the box, so to speak, differently to other people. It's where innovation begins. When we give ourselves and our teams permission to think beyond the obvious, then that's when bold breakthrough ideas are born. Love to remind that. Indeed. Coach Ashif says, intention with attention. Oh, this man comes with a genius journey. He really does.
Who is this person? I don't know if you're friends with you.
Coach Ashif, no,
are you single? Are you single, bro?
He's a genius. Connect with him in the comments. Don't harass him. I don't know if he's single.
Oh, Jesus. I got 8 puppies downstairs. I don't need to harass anyone. But that's genius.
It really is. I like with the universe. It's a path to fruition. It really is. Look, you see, my friend Coach Adeoye David, he will say this: all bold ideas are from the gods. They're divine inspiration. I've argued with him the other day. I'm saying that can't be the case. It can't be all good things come from God, all bad things come from us. That's just ridiculous. He's like, no, we have God. I said, okay, I will accept that we are God. We have God within us, right? So it's our subconscious. It's our thinking. It's right. It's
so religious.
I'm not.
You're talking about God a lot today.
There's a greater power than that, because it's our reality.
It's good. I've never heard you be so
But I haven't said I agree with it. So, I don't agree with any of it. I'm just saying it's what people say. Look, to answer your question directly, Joni, I make a point of questioning my beliefs always. If I read a book and the book says, the sky is green, I will look to make sure the sky is not green before I say I'm gonna ignore that, because I always think, have I missed it? Is the sky really green? Right? Because I got a roof window, by the way, that's what I'm looking out there, the roof window. I'm not mad, right? So that's where I live, and I think I like to find some of the truths in life. Why deny the obvious?
And Dr. Leslie's book, it's like a color you can't describe. It's a greenish blue, like it's just like cerulean or something.
For sure. Look, so whilst we're here, Joni, I will open Dr. Roxana's.
Yes, I do that. Like, get the media out there. I want to see it.
Okay, all right. This is a book. Let me get the comments off the screen for a second. I'll come back to your points in a second, Mr. Ashif. Dr. Roxana, I think it's Dr. Roxana's book. If I look and it's not Dr. Roxana's book, I'll be most surprised. The next one I'm waiting for is Sandra's book. Oh no, it's not. No, Dr. Roxana, it's not your book. Okay, no. So this is Sandra's book. This is the one we're launching on Thursday. So I'm excited. I'm glad I've got my copy. Thank you so much, Sandra. And I say congratulations. Let's try this one. I wonder if this is it. You'd be surprised, my friends. I get books every day. So it may not be your book, Dr. Roxana. It may not be. It is your book. It is Dr. Roxana's book. Look. Book, Financial Freedom, Unlocking Passive Income Strategies for 2025 and Beyond. And it's got a gold badge because it's written by an international bestselling author. That's Dr. Roxana, several times international bestseller. Right. So I'm glad that listener the book did show up as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Roxana. Great book. I can't wait to. Well, I've read it. I published it, so. But I always read it again. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thanks so much, Dr. Roxana. I look forward to getting Sandra's final copy when we do have bestseller on Thursday. And with your support, my friends, we do get to make her an international bestselling author. I'm trying to. All right. So, Joni, you're still, you're here, right? Look, so divine inspiration is one way that they say we get our ideas. Maybe there's a better way around, my friends. And I think Sandra mentioned it earlier. We need to learn by serving our customers, by doing for our customers. And this is how many businesses learn, right? Many entrepreneurs learn, but to come up with their bold idea. By doing for our customers, we can see what's not working and what can be improved. Your bold idea is simply a solution that works better than other people's solution. So when you work with customers, you can see the gaps in what they're not getting. Now take me as a marketer, for example, right? My big bug is very slow to get results from social media posts because people might see it, they might not see it. So anything in Global.Media, what we do for all clients who need numbers quickly, we run ads always. Facebook ads, Google ads, whichever ads. I just want to do ads because those ads, people who are searching on Google will find the ads and they will click. I can guarantee to get 100 people to a website a month. Not just 100 people, 100 of the right people who are looking for what you do. That's one of the ways that we make Global.Media what it is. We have our way of doing what we do, right? The other way, of course, that I get people to engage with my clients, my brands, my authors, is through these events. Because nothing beats talking to people directly. Nothing beats, no ads, no posts, no blog is going to do more for me and my clients than them being in front of you, talking to their potential customers.
And being an advocate, right?
Yes, of course. And
yes.
It might be, maybe it's more than advocate, showing that you care about them, about people, is what makes them become your customers in the first place, right? I'm saying we have to give ourselves that space to get to know the people we're trying to help. Sometimes, it's not sometimes, we've been told for years, talk to your customers, and everyone's like, yeah, I talk to my customers all the time. They never did. They talk to the customers who pay them. The ones who don't pay them, the prospects, the potential customers, they've always ignored. The internet's given us a way to talk to our customers. You can talk to your customers at events like this, right? You really talk to now. Joni, is here. She's human. We can talk properly and talk, and I can leave here with knowing what Joni's issues are that we can help.
We got a lot. She's a lot.
No, I said that we can help with, Joni. I don't want to know about you. I don't want to.
I can just I mean, I was in therapy this morning, so we can talk about that. But wait,
let's not.
Wait, I wanted to say something to Professor Roxana, Dr. Leslie, Sandra, and just give me 1 second. 1 second.
Are you getting your delivery? I can
They don't open at the right time.
Okay, she's collecting a delivery at the door.
I was trying to get to the right part. Hey, hold on.
Okay, no, it's fine.
I was trying to say congratulations.
Okay. Oh my.
I found it.
Okay. Have you found it?
All right. I'm turning off. But anyway, congratulations. I'm so proud of you guys. I actually have to leave, Annie. So
thank you.
You're gonna. I just want to say thank you for.
Are we meeting later?
Thank you for your friendship, brother.
Are we meeting later, Joni?
Potentially, yeah. I might be like Michelle Ramos, and
I need those pictures. People ghosted me when we
I did. I gave them all to you. I gave them all.
It didn't work.
I gave you it. Look at the link in LinkedIn. Okay.
It just said that it said there's an error in the message. I sent it to you the DM. You should see there's errors there. It's Microsoft saying
all right.
No.
I promise I will retry that.
Let's meet later, and then let's fix it.
Okie dokie. I feel like it's like late there already. Anyways, congratulations, girls. I am really proud of you, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Excellent. Thank you, Joni. You're the star. Thank you for gracing me your time, and you're a genius. Thank you so much. Okay. Bye for now, Joni. Now, look, my friends. They said, this. Where do your ideas come from? It is a question of where does creativity and innovation come from, as Sandra's mentioned in the comments already. There's many sources, but I think the thing we need to do is be more strategic, be more intentional. Less. The first thing I will say to you the thing that I will say to you above all else is learn to listen to your mind. Learn to listen to your head. Now, many ideas are in our heads, but we need to learn to listen to them and write them down. Document them. Write them down, whether you type them on your computer or even put them into your phone as a WhatsApp message to yourself. Any of that, all of that works. So put it down somewhere, right? Don't just put it down, which is your point, Coach Ashif. Right? Literally, put it down, and periodically, once a week, once a month, review your ideas list, your ideas book. And as Coach says, right? It's when you look at the idea a week from now, what feeling do you get? And if you've got a feeling that says, oh, this is doable, oh, this can benefit me, oh, this can benefit the world, then is when you want to take up the idea. Maybe taking up the idea is not necessarily jumping to doing it. Maybe it is then figuring out the next step where your God, the world, will tell you, go and talk to this person. Go and talk to that person. Make that phone call. Go to that event. Go to that meeting. Read that book, where you can then begin to refine the idea, to solidify it, to bake it, to cook it, like I use in my words, right? You know, but it's going to take time and it's going to take money. I agree to bring your bold idea. It's going to take a lot. Sometimes, like I said, some ideas take 10 years. Some ideas take a lifetime, never get done. Some ideas take 30 years. That's not a bad thing. That's how long it takes to bring your solution to the world. So be it. But bring the solution to the world. You must. Like I say, I'm haunted by this ghostly picture of, I'm on my deathbed. I'm sure you've heard it before, my friends. I'm on my deathbed, and the angels and the Grim Reaper are there, and my God, the universe is saying, Annie, I gave you all these ideas. What did you do with them, Annie? And I'm like, oh, nothing. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be the one who on my deathbed wishes I had done what I could have done, what I was gifted to do. I'm sure you don't want to be that person either, right? Let's be the ones to learn to listen to our ideas, refine them, and do what it takes until we can implement them and bring them to the world. That's the full cycle of what if, my friends. Look, I never want to waffle alone for too long. So when I've had an hour and a half already, so I want to thank you all for being here. Michelle, talk to me, he says again. Michelle, talk to me. Dr. Leslie, Professor Roxana, Coach Ashif, you've been a star. Omar, Sandra. Do join us for Sandra's book launch. And I have just shown you the book. So it is coming out on Thursday. And we do need your help to make Sandra an international best-selling author. So I'm muting myself. Voice silenced by doubt, dead to rise. So do join us. It's going to be $1.99 on Friday. So please come and buy the book. I have this thing about having a greater vision for everything, right? For Sandra's book, it can literally help anyone in every path, in every profession. And if you find yourself not always speaking up, not always speaking with confidence, not always speaking your true belief, your true thoughts, Sandra's book is a Bible they can definitely live with. Of course, I can't. No. So Sandra's event is Thursday at 4 p.m. UK time, 11 a.m. EST. And that's what Sandra's book is also a great read if you want to make money. If you want to make money while you sleep, that's what passive income really is, right? There's lots of methods in there for you to make money from online to property to investments. It's all in there. Look, I'll say thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for your time. There's many more people. Tolu, say Miss Ramos, I'm still waiting for you to talk to me today, please. There's Abbas, who else? Cyrus, Dr. Lisa. No, there's two Lisas. So there's Lisa the genius, and then there's Lisa Beckles as well. I'm sure who's a genius indeed. And I can't thank you enough, Joni, and of course, Michael, who shared it with us. Look, do go in the comments, my friends, and connect with each other. If you're the only one who resonates with you, then please do connect with them. Jeremy, I can't forget you, of course. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. My friends, I'm back here again in 2 weeks' time. I'm sure I'm going to be back here again tomorrow night in my Being Your Authentic Self in Business Live. I don't know what I'm going to talk about tomorrow yet. I've got many topics in my head, many ideas, as always. I should come up with one, and then I should create the event, and let's talk about it. But the diary dates you need to make is for Sandra's book launch on Thursday at 11 a.m. EST. I hope you will join us to make her a legend for life. That's what being a bestseller does, right? Thank you so much, everyone. Look, feel free to DM me. Say I'm sure I'll be in touch anyway to invite you to many other events, right? Thank you so much, everyone. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com.